firstly, we've got this line here, right? This little extract here. So tell us about this extract here, and tell us what it's saying. It's in fact, I'll read it out for the benefit of the. I'm conscious there are listeners on this. I'm dreadful at this. Right. So this is quite a long paragraph. I'm going to do it though. It is true that much of our future diesel railcar build will be in the form of medium-weight bogie units. So already they're writing the pacer off there. This is because our studies have shown that on many services, a combination of 1- and 2-car bogie units is in fact cheapest. In particular, where traffic exceeds the capacity of a twin-unit railbus, it is cheaper to buy and operate a 2-car bogie unit than a 3-car railbus. However, we do foresee a significant role for the railbuses, hence the current order for 75 2-car units and the likelihood of further such orders being placed. I always find this paragraph weird. It's like, Pacers aren't really worth their salt and Sprinters are better. However, we have ordered a load of Pacers. Hooray! I always find it a bit of a weird, like, two different paragraphs.
It's because it's strategically they're committed to Pacers, whether they like it or not. So this is the thing, is that they've already realised that they're not as versatile as Sprinters, but they're kind of already, so they bought this, so they bought that kind of tranche of 142s and then 143s. And then they're already kind of again looking, even in 85, at authorization of 86, even I think, at authorization to try and build more of them as well. So they're still thinking about it, even though they're kind of saying here. So what the context of this is that this is in response. Sometimes in archives, what's unfortunate is you don't get you only get one side of the conversation. But this is a copy letter of a response apparently sent to Portuguese railways about an inquiry into Pacer railbuses.
Really?
And their effectiveness. And in this, they kind of list lots of the problems with the transmission and the wheel squeal and the track circuits and all these kinds of things. And then they say, well, okay, but they have been okay in some ways, you know. And that's the interesting thing. And so they're still... And part of the problem is that because of the investment horizon, the delivery times, and the fact that it took... So they ordered from September 81, I think, the 141s were authorised, and it took until 83 for them to be delivered, for example. So you've got these long lead times. You've got these long lead times on trains. That means that you kind of got, you've got a strategy where it takes time to follow through. So they still have to say, we're committed to them. Yeah.
And what's interesting, of course, is at this time, all the Sprinters are starting to appear and are seen more popular. It's realised that they are far more successful. Not just the numbers side, but they're received better by passengers. And so the 150 is, let's face it, quite a rudimentary vehicle. It's better than a Pacer, frankly, but it's possibly not quite as obviously better. But by the time you get into the 156, which is a very competent unit, suddenly the number you're starting to see these the success and the kind of the positive feeling from the public of these Sprinters is clearly a problem. The Pacer has clearly been realised as a problem. As Sakura has said, the second half of this is really basically saying, however, we have ordered them and now need to explain why we made that mistake. Yes. Yeah. So yeah. This slide is possibly the most fun slide in this whole presentation, right?
Yeah.
So this is the crux of it.
So this comes in a more financial report, but this is about 1987 when they're looking at ordering 86, 87 when they're looking at future kind of orders, and this ends up being orders for things like the 158 and trains going in that direction. But what they show here is basically that 150s appear to be cheaper to operate. So this is maintenance.
So I can shove it. I can emulate, because this is very difficult to read because of a mixture of either yourself or Dr. David Turner's terrible photo work.
Well, it's kind of a photocopy of a photocopy.
But also, there's a lot. I was going to say there's a lot of printer burn there as well, a copier burn. So the Class 108 cost per annum for maintenance, the total annual outgoing to run this unit, 521,000 a year. Right. This is about. You say this is around in 87 numbers. You reckon?
Yeah, so this is roughly 87 numbers, and remember that's kind of a life expired unit as well.
Yes, yeah. So that's a really old unit. So that's a lot of money because the thing is falling to bits. So the newer units, Class 142, annual cost for maintenance around 250,000, 255,000 actually per annum. Yeah. Now the 150 is 234,000 per annum. So it's beating the Pacer by 20,000 a year. that's quite a substantial betterment.
And it's adding up. And the thing I really like is at the bottom, it talks about the summary of savings over existing units. And one of the things that really fascinates me there is that it appears to claim that a 142 only saves one staff member, whereas a 150 saves 19.
Oh, I didn't pick these out. So these are down here. Let me scribble on these to show people what I'm talking about. So this is summary of where's my thing gone here? Summary. So this is saying summary of savings over existing units. So this is talking about hours. So this is
so I think that's standard hours, and then it kind of shows
these are about comparable. So they're about comparable. But this is the key. Staff. This is incredible. Staff saving, as you say, staff saving 1. Compared to staff saving of 19.
I don't know if I completely believe that.
Is it because of increased maintenance requirements, and so that they are just taking that much extra depot staff to? I mean, that seems quite a radical difference, but there we go.
But what is certainly a factor here is that so you see in some of the documents that they're talking about if we replace it. One of the things about replacing trains is that they wanted to close depots.
Yeah.
Okay, so they thought that if they had more reliable trains and fewer trains, they needed fewer trains to operate the same service, or even more frequent services, actually. So this is one of the other ways I think it's this is the Bob Reed era now, They're sort of thinking, we can run more frequent services as well with fewer trains. What
Sweating the asset more.
Really close down depots. So, because most of the depots that were around were not actually the ones that the train spotters liked. A lot of them were kind of DMU depots, right? And there's York, Lincoln, Doncaster, Newcastle. So there's a whole list of them listed. So York was definitely closed, for example, out of it. Lincoln, I think, was probably closed. I'm not sure, but so there's a whole list of depots that
these can do more. Per diagram, the newer units can do more than the old multiple units. And so we're getting closer to the model of operation we have now, where we really sweat the hell out of track and train. So that's a fantastic slide. That's one of the best slides in here in terms of data. Is the obvious? Nope, pacers cost more annually to look after and run.